Sarah Brisbane is 18 years old. She works in her local pub on Friday evenings and Saturday afternoons. She attends sixth form at Thurston Community College 5 days a week, and she takes literature, computing and biology. She has a boyfriend who she goes out with every Saturday after work and at least once during the week. She finds that her social life competes with her schoolwork and job, but somehow always manages to fit things in. She really enjoys watching films whenever she gets the chance to, and her favourite TV programmes are Skims, Misfits and the Gilmore Girls, simply because they either cheer her up or excite her. Her all-time favourite film is 13, by Catherine Hardwicke, 2003, and she loves films that have a party element but a sick, twisted character. She finds that watching films that include something she can relate to, like partying or drinking, are great fun to watch. But she also thinks it's so good to include something that she doesn't quite understand as it challenges her and makes her want to find out more about either the character or the situation, so it keeps her hooked. John McCall is 21 and in his third and last year at Edinburgh University studying philosophy. His social life is manic, as him and all his friends are trying to make the most of his last year and enjoy it as much as he can, meeting as many people as possible. He says philosophy is a fairly easy subject and requires only about 10 hours of work each week, as mostly it's just thinking and remembering arguments. He watches a lot of television, plays a lot of Xbox, and mostly just loves to hang out with his housemates. He generally just drinks and has a laugh, as him and his housemates are all fairly chilled out. He says if we do sit down to watch a film, then usually it's something easy to watch that doesn't require a lot of attention and doesn't have too much of a storyline. Things like Pineapple Express, David Gordon Green 2008, and How High, Jesse Dillon 2001. However, he says if he's left on his own in the house, or really feels like watching a film, he always goes for something a bit heavier. He says he likes film with the same themes as what they all watch as housemates, but with more of a storyline and that shows something a bit more serious than just like having a laugh. He says films like Trainspotting, Danny Boyle 1996, and Requiem for a Dream, Darren Aronofsky 2000, greatly appeal to him because they're fascinating, and he says it's so interesting to see how something like drugs can affect somebody's life. He says the storylines are so much more intense that they always have him hooked from the word go, and that's the kind of thing he likes from films, intensity. I think that John McCall and Sarah Brisbane would enjoy watching my film because it includes both aspects of what they like to see in films. It includes the party aspect, as Lex obviously attends various house parties throughout the film. She enjoys drinking a lot. And then it also, obviously then there's the drugs as well. She takes drugs throughout the entire film. But then it also incorporates like John's intensity that he likes to see in films. The fact that she's so like messed up in her mind. And the intensity between her and her boyfriend Tom, and then with what Sarah likes to see with this like the twisted character. Lex has obviously got some mental issues, as she like has to go out and she ends up homeless for a while, and by the end of the film she kills herself. So it includes that like twisted mannerism that people like Sarah like to see in films, and then it also includes the like the intensity that John likes to see, but it's also got that casual partying aspect of teenage life. So I think that the two of them would really enjoy watching like my media production, basically. I think that when people were to watch my film, they'd kind of find it as like an escapism, because with a lot of social realism films you find that they have the different aspects of your life that you can relate to, but they enhance it all and they exaggerate it so that it's kind of so much more interesting than your actual life, but you can still understand to a certain extent what's going on. And so I think that if like when people were to watch my film, it would be like an escapism, like they could go and although relate to their life, they could kind of be separate to their life and experience something new and something different simply by watching the film. And I think it can be quite an easy film to watch because it is a lot of partying, but if you're in the mood also, it can be quite an intense film to watch. obviously because there's not a happy ending at the end, and so you have to be in the mood to watch it, but it can work either way. And so it could be like, for somebody to want to watch my film, it would be as kind of like a getaway, as kind of entertainment, but it would also make them think after they finish watching it. It would make them think, and it would make them kind of see how not every teenager is how people think teenagers are. And so I think it would, a kind of, the gratification they would get from watching my film would be escapism and kind of understanding something new that possibly they wouldn't have understood if they hadn't have taken the time to like watch the film. As essentially, I think my film does put a lot of light on things that people wouldn't usually take the time to consider.